Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. We're going to talk about mortgage. We got about 27 different sessions in this particular course, and we're going to cover the A to Z. In this particular session, just a brief introduction to property valuations, but we're going to check into a mortgage. We're going to look at refinancing. We're going to look at some corporate stuff. We're going to look at, well, if there's 27 sessions, it's going to be a handful of mortgage-related queries. Well, let's get started here. This is a brief introduction. We are looking at Excel. We're going to use Excel tools to do some property valuations. Look, there are a zillion different ways to do this. Okay, you can use full-blown intrinsic value. You can use caps. You can use a mixture of stuff. This is just a brief introduction. Don't get stuck in the weeds here. And I'm going to say that a lot because we will get stuck in the weeds as we work through this. When we do, I'll say, look, this may be a bit of a challenge, so work through it. In this particular case, we're looking at cash flows. This entire series, and there are 21 different courses, it's all about cash flow. If you don't understand the basics here, in other words, present value and future value, go to the very beginning where I have a comprehensive overview of present value and future values. If you do get stuck in the weeds there, you're not going to be able to work through, for example, swaps. We're going to get into swaps. We're going to get into options and what have you. But here, property valuation, we're just looking at cash flow. So property rents for 25 grand per year for 25 years with an 8% discount rate compounded monthly. What is the property value today? If you don't understand this, go back to the future value area or take a look at the valuation course. I'm not going to get into the specifics in this particular session, but we have a value of 269. How does this work in Excel? You're going to have a rate, you're going to have number of periods, payment, future value, and type. You're going to need to understand the proper location of the information. Here you have a rate, number of periods, and we have a payments. And what's it going to do? It's going to find the present value based on this 25 grand a year, and we're going to discount it back at 8%. So the value is at 266 based on 8%. This is a verification using the rate function. If you need to dig into this, you can delve into it deeper, or as I say, practice, practice, practice. A perpetuity, here again, we're using this perpetuity. We use number of periods. The other one showed 25. We go here, we're going to have number of periods, it's 25. But if a perpetuity, if we use 1,000, we got a value of 312.5. If you are receiving your rents at the beginning of the month, as opposed to the end of the month, you can see how much of a difference there is. The paid in advance. Property is currently worth $2 million. It was purchased for $1.75 million with a 5-year lease attached. What was the discount rate? We're going to use this rate function. Keep in mind what we're trying to do here. Notice the blanks here. This will be the payment. We're not looking for the payment. We're trying to find the rate. We're going to use the 1.75 million as its present value. We have 2 million, which is the future value. And then we have the number of periods. Excel is going to spit out this rate. And then we can use this future value because now we have the rate. Go up here. You're going to see we have the rate. You're just going to fill in the boxes here. Number of periods is the lease and our present value, and it's going to give us the future value. Here is exactly what I just showed you. Leasehold interest sold for 230 grand. Lease had 4 years remaining. Rent was 6 grand per month. If we accept a monthly yield of 0.75%, what rent is shown by the transaction? So we're going to have a present value, 230,000. We're going to have a rate of 0.075, and then the number of months, you're going to have 48 periods. And then you're going to need to look at this other requirement. You see this last one? We have a type, and we could type in here, and it's going to say type 1, beginning of the period, or 2, or 0, it's at the end of the period. We have a present value. Notice this negative sign. Keep that in mind, and your model will blow up otherwise. You're going to see the rents, 5681. If the interest rate is changed to 0.75% per month, how much should you pay for the property today? 4.4 million. We're using the same format. We're going to use this rate, 0.0075. Keep in mind, because this is a monthly number, the number of periods. So you can put 5 times 12 in here, or just put 60. Payment's 25 grand per month. The future value, it's telling us it's $5 million beginning of the period in advance. And it comes out, and voila. If you want to verify that rate, you can use this rate function and just reverse engineer it. You're going to get the 0.75. Internal rate of return. That just gives us, based on the cash flows here, an investor purchased a property for $1.2 million. The rent is 12 grand per month. The property is sold in 5 years for $1.5 million. What is the return? Well, you can see they bought it for one negative. The 1.2 million, you sold it for 1.5 million, and here are your monthly cash flows, which make absolutely no sense, but just go with it. They're not taking into account any inflation. But here's your internal rate of return. All you have to do for internal rate of return is highlight the range. We go C23 to C29. Internal rate of return can get nasty. And if you go into the future value, present value, of course, I think I delve into this in more depth. And lastly, an investor purchased a property for $1.6 million. The rent is 10 grand per month. And the discount rate is 1% per month, compounded monthly. What would the property be worth in 5 years? Think about it. We're trying to figure out future value, looking forward. We have 1.6 million, which is going to be your present value. You're going to have 10 grand per month cash flow. You're going to have a rate of 0.01% a month, or 12%. And number of periods is 60. Just remember what we're trying to do here. We're trying to find something in the future value. You just type in the rate, number of periods, and keep in mind what we're trying to do here, this negative number, negative 160, type 1. What happens if we go the other route? If we do this, you're going to see that 3731, format negative 2081. If you don't put that negative number in there, it's going to show some really, really bad results. And then to verify it, you can do the present value. You can reverse it, and you're going to get this 1.6 million. Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. Hope that helped. Thanks a lot.